people. Make sure you keep me in the frame. Good afternoon. My name is Leah, and I'm here today not just as a student or a speaker, but as a mother, a neighbor, and someone who deeply loves her community. Imagine this. You're sitting in a classroom at 8 years old. You've got a Southern accent, a Braves jersey, and your favorite lunch is whatever the cafeteria serves on Taco Day. You say the Pledge of Allegiance just like all the other kids. This is your home, because it's the only one you've ever known. Now imagine one day finding out legally you don't belong here, not because of anything you did, but because your parents brought you here as a child trying to give you a better life. You had no say in that decision, but now you pay the price. That's the reality for thousands of children growing up in towns just like ours here in North Georgia. Today I'm asking you to support a real, attainable, but earned pathway to citizenship for the immigrant children brought here to the United States by their parents. I'm not asking for shortcuts or handouts. I'm asking for fairness, for hope, and for a stance. Let's look beyond the labels. These children are students, friends, teammates, and neighbors. The American Immigration Council reports that over 90% of immigrant children protected under DACA graduate high school, and nearly 80% are employed. These aren't criminals or strangers. They're the kids who sit next to our own children in class. They ride the school bus through the hills of Calhoun and Rome. They grow up just like everyone else until they hit a legal wall. And for many of them, that wall appears suddenly. Imagine being told you can't apply for college aid, or that your dream job is off limits, not because of your grades or effort, but because of a document you never had. These children didn't cross a border with intent. They were carried, literally or figuratively, in their parents' arms. That's not a crime, folks. That's circumstance. This chart illustrates the educational and employment success of DACA recipients. Over 90% graduate from high school and 80% are employed, and 25% hold a college degree. These figures support the need for a fair and attainable path to citizenship for individuals who are brought to the U.S. as children and have grown up contributing to the American society. What are the obstacles? Well, despite their hard work and deep roots in our communities, these kids face major challenges. The Pew Research Center found that over 25% of DACA recipients have earned a college degree, but without permanent legal status, many can't get a driver's license, qualify for financial aid, or legally work in their field. And these obstacles aren't just financial. The emotional toll is real. They live with uncertainty every day, wondering if they'll be forced to leave the only home they've ever known. According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, even DACA does not provide lawful status or true path to citizenship. NPR journalist Joel Rose interviewed a DACA recipient who said, "I've lived here my whole life, but I still feel like I'm waiting to be told I don't belong." That fear and instability create a long-term stress that impacts school performance, relationships, and mental health. And in a time when we talk about supporting youth, we're failing some of the most vulnerable. What should we do? Well, we should build a path, one with steps, one with standards, one that can be earned, but one that actually exists. The National Immigration Law Center supports legislation like the DREAM Act, which would allow these young people to apply for lawful permanent residency if they meet requirements like background checks, educational milestones, and civic contributions. That's not leniency, that's structure. U.S. News and World Report argues that giving dreamers a path to citizenship strengthens our communities economically, socially, and morally. These individuals are already contributing to our country. We're not just giving them legal recognition they've earned. So how do we help? Support policy, like the DREAM Act. Encourage local representatives in Georgia to take action. Vote with this in mind. Use your voice to start conversations and challenge stereotypes. As someone who works in a manufacturing setting, I've seen how hard it is to find reliable and honest workers. Many of these young adults want to fill that gap. They want to work. They want to pay taxes. They want to raise families, and they want to give back. We just need to stop tying their hands. As a mom of kids in high school and middle school, and a baby boy who just turned 1, I think about the kind of world my kids are growing up in. I think about who's sitting beside them in class, who they're playing sports with, who they'll graduate with. And I think about the kids in our North Georgia schools who have done everything right, but still have to carry the weight of being undocumented. These are kids who show up to practice, cheer on their teammates, and wear their school colors with pride. They're in football, cheerleading, basketball, wrestling, track, and right beside my own children. They celebrate wins and losses just like any other kid, but when the season ends and graduation gets closer, their futures are uncertain. Not because of anything they did, but because of something they couldn't control. As a parent, it's hard not to imagine my own children in that position. I want every child in our community to feel safe, valued, and hopeful about their future. That's why this matters to me on such a deep level. So today, I'm asking you to open your mind and your heart. I'm not proposing open borders or skipping the line. I'm asking for a real, earned, attainable path to citizenship for the children who were brought here and have done everything right since. We can keep pretending this issue lives in big cities and border towns, or we can recognize that it lives right here in North Georgia, in our schools, on our teams, in our communities. These kids grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance and singing the national anthem, but they still don't have a flag to stand under. It's time that we give them one.